And for the sake of timing today, let's go ahead and jump into our overview of the end of year one submission. Here we'll take a look at the data submission from a big picture perspective. This slide contains the reporting timeline for the 22 to 23 academic year. Fall 1 and Fall 2 are both now complete. They both began on Census Day, October 5th. Fall 1 had an initial deadline of December 16th, followed by an amendment window and a final deadline of January 20th, 2023. And Fall 2 had a single deadline of March 10th, 2023. We just began the end of year submissions yesterday on May 8th. We are currently in this block here. The end of year submissions have a certification deadline of July 28th, 2023. This is when the CDE is recommending that all LEAs have their EOY submissions certified. We then have a short amendment window, which is meant for slight modifications to records, and a final deadline of August 25th, 2023. These dates will be stuck to more firmly this year due to the dashboard release date moving up in the calendar year. We're also in the middle of cohort processing. Initial LPAC testing window will open on July 1st of 2023, and the 22 to 23 cohort will be pulled on August 25th of this year. Is a collection of course completion, career technical education, and work-based learning data. LEAs with grades 7 through 12 enrollments provide course section completer counts by state course code for departmentalized courses completed at any time during the current academic year. And this is done in your course section completion, or CRSC, and your student course section completion, or SCSC files. For those LEAs with grade 7 through 12 enrollments, in the SCTE file, you will provide data on CTE completers. These data will be pulled as CTE completer counts in Snapshot Reports 3.19 and 3.20, which are relevant for Perkins reporting. And finally, for those LEAs with grade 7 through 12 enrollments, in the work-based learning file, you will provide counts of student completion of specific work-based learning programs, like internships or pre-apprenticeship programs. Before we move into the finer details of end of year one reporting through the various file types, let's do a quick 10,000-foot overview of the end of year one submission and see the big picture process at play here. Your local student information system stores your day-to-day school data, including information on student enrollments, demographics, CTE, students with disabilities, credentialed staff demographics and courses, and student course enrollments. This data is submitted to CalPADS as well as other statewide systems like the Testing Operations Management System, or TOMS, and the California Department of Social Services, or CDSS. Data is pulled directly from CalPADS for publication on DataQuest, the California School Dashboard, and EdData. California State and the CDE are in turn compelled to report specific data groups to the federal government, and all requirements are listed in the federal systems bubble on this slide. These are requirements throughout all data submissions throughout the year, not just end of year one, but they are quite relevant to end of year one. Federal reporting includes migrant student information, course completion and Carnegie units earned, Carl Perkins CTE participant and completer info, and Every Student Succeeds Act, or ESSA, and Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act data. All right, we mentioned the California School Dashboard as part of the state systems reporting. In the California School Dashboard, there are various indicators which measure school performance. The College and Career Indicator is particularly relevant to end of year one. The College and Career Indicator, or CCI, shows how well LEAs and schools are preparing students for likely success after graduation. There are two measures to consider with this indicator: college readiness and career readiness. This slide contains the CCI measures for college readiness. Displayed are the criteria to determine whether the relevant data you submit to the CDE indicates college prepared, approaching prepared, or not prepared. Only graduates can be classified as prepared or approaching prepared. For LEAs to demonstrate success on this measure, High school graduates must meet at least one of the criteria in the prepared or approaching prepared levels. The criteria outlined in red represent data that is pulled directly from CalPads. Particular to end of year one, college credit courses and UC-CSU-AG requirements are provided in course section completion and student course section completion files. CTE pathway completion is provided in the SCTE file. The criteria outside of the red outline comes from non-CalPADS sources, like CASP, AP or IB exams, and summative assessments. This slide contains the CCI measures for career readiness. Displayed are the criteria to determine whether the relevant data you submit to the CDE indicates career prepared, approaching prepared, or not prepared. And again, only graduates can be classified as prepared or approaching prepared. The criteria outlined in red represents data that is pulled directly from CalPads. Particular to end of year one, leadership or military science courses and CTE courses are reported in course section completion and student course section completion records. And transitional classroom and work-based learning experience is reported in the work-based learning record. Leadership and military science includes state course code 9373 for leadership or military science and 9374 for Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps or JROTC. It is important to be aware of the data elements you submit to CalPads in end of year one that are important to the CCI on the California School Dashboard. And again, the criteria outside of the red outline come from non-CalPAD sources, like state and federal job programs or pre-apprenticeship programs. To successfully report your student data in CalPads, LEAs need the proper user account roles assigned. The roles needed to populate data and view reports in end of year one are contained on the left-hand side of this slide. They are students CNR edit and view, CTE edit and view, CRSC edit and view, SCSC edit and view, staff demographics edit and view, work-based learning edit and view, and work-based learning extract permissions. To view EOY1 reports, users will need the EOY1 reports permissions. LEAs should also be aware that there are excellent reference documents available to download for guidance on different aspects of CalPads reporting. The CalPads user manual contains all essential information for CalPads users to make full use of the system. It includes a description of the system functions and capabilities, contingencies and alternate modes of operation, and step-by-step procedures for system access and use. It also serves as a gateway to additional state compliance resources and submission and report analysis tools. The CalPads code sets contain the current code values for fields with coded value data elements in CalPads. The CalPads file specifications, or CFS, provides data submission requirements at the individual field or file specification level, as well as information on CalPads file processing methods. The error list contains descriptions and suggested resolutions for each error generated when submitting data to CalPads. The data guide provides general guidance for LEAs regarding the collection and submission of data in CalPads. The data guide is currently a bit outdated. The user manual may be a more helpful source of information in the current times. The valid code combinations document lists codes that can be only used in specific combination with other fields or elements as enforced by validation errors. And the retired code mapping guide provides a list of state course codes that were retired from CalPads during the codes transition in the 2018 to 19 school year and their associated new course codes. And all of these resources or all of these pieces of CalPads documentation will be vital for you as you submit records, resolve errors, and review reports in end of year one. Developing referential knowledge of the CalPads documentation will increase your capacity as a data coordinator and allow you to resolve problems and answer questions independently of the CalPads support desk. And on this slide are some of the key resources, again, for end of year one. We have the CalPads user manual here, which contains an abundance of information on CalPads functionality and business rules. the CalPAD system documentation page, which includes links for the CalPAD's code sets, file specifications, valid code combinations, error list, and data that we mentioned on the previous slide. The connecting CalPADs to the dashboard handbook, the federal government work-based learning toolkit, the CDE webpage for CalPAD's flash communications, and the college and career indicator on the California School dashboard. And if you did download the slide deck for today's session, there are links to all of these resources in the notes section of this slide.